Hello and welcome back to IVF Daddies. Today I'm with a wonderful friend of mine who just makes me laugh. So welcome's yours. Hello.
Thank you, Richard, for having me today.
You are not having you today, babe.
Aren't you?
See, I mean,
Maybe with consent?
We are literally like Kim Kardashian and Sarah Paulson. Like, I cannot keep a straight face around
Who are you?
I'll be Kim, you can be Sarah. Okay. Your family building story really touched a chord with me, and you wrote a book about it because you are so amazing and so wonderfully enthusiastic and optimistic and helping so many different people. Like, tell me about your family building story.
Where to start is my first idea. I think let's start with the beginning.
That's a good place to start.
No, we've started here because I'm together with a man, and we thought eventually we would like to build a family. That would be really awesome and magical. But back then it was, well, a decade, more than 2 decades ago, I think. Yeah. So we just thought, well, we are 2 men, we have a wish to have a child, or children maybe. We know people who did adoption. Let's start with adoption. So we were really happy to, write ourselves into the waiting list for adoption, but we're not that good at waiting.
And adoption in Holland is not the easiest.
Takes a long time. You have to go through classes to learn what the impact of adoption really is. Well, waiting times, really long waiting times. So while waiting, we were looking for similar stories. And then we accidentally fell upon a stand of Meer dan gewenst. That's the more than wished for free translation, and that's the Dutch Foundation for Rainbow Families. They organized information meetings where we have gone to, and well, a whole new world opened before our eyes. So we learned not only about adoption, but also about intentional co-parenting or platonic co-parenting, that you have one family and 2 houses, but also about donor conception, that it's possible to become an own donor for someone and have kind of a relationship with the child. But also we've learned about surrogacy. And then we thought, well, we are a little bit strong-headed, both of us. So we thought sharing our child in co-parenting, well, it sounds for us a little bit difficult. Adoption was a really long waiting time, and then you also hear stories about children who are adopted who, well, sometimes struggle also with where they come from and their narrative. And we thought, well, how nice would it be to create a family and raise a child ourselves 100% of the time. And we also, well, I think instantly also thought about the best interest of the child, and thought, what would a child need or want to have?
Do you think the classes that you did for the adoption helped you with that thought process, or was it Meer dan gewenst that helped you? My Dutch is not good, sorry, I hope I said that right. Sounded good, right?
Great.
Ja, hoe gaat het? Ja.
Heel goed.
Or were they there supporting you, kind of bringing the questions that you might not necessarily have thought about to then think through?
I think it's a combination of all. So your personal development, but also conversations with people around you or parents who have gone through the process before, but also purely information what Meer dan gewenst, more than wished for, provides, and also more the theory with the adoption background, and learning also from children who were born through surrogacy or donor conception. There are more of those.
You went through all the different family building options.
Exactly.
And you landed on surrogacy.
Exactly. Matching is not is prohibited in the Netherlands. It is prohibited in the Netherlands. So there's no agency or a matching service for you to get in touch with surrogates. But also, it's not an option to advertise, to say as a parent or an intended parent, I'm looking for a surrogate.
So you can't advertise that
Openly.
You want to be a surrogate.
Exactly.
You can't advertise that you need a surrogate.
Exactly.
And you can't match. So it's rather challenging.
Yeah. So we ended up at a forum, and it was before Facebook, so a long time ago. There were people who have gone through the process in the Netherlands or Belgium before. And we got in touch with people to just learn from them. And then, wonder above wonder, we met someone, and she said, well, let's drink some coffee or get some food. Sushi it was, I think. And we went there, and it was pretty crazy because for the first time in forever, we went to the hairdresser, we bought new clothes to go on a date with a straight woman.
You were going on a...
And it was so awkward. So we were stuttering and like all kind of, well, we were just panic attacks all over, which was, she had it too. So it was kind of, that broke the ice. It was really funny and awkward at the same time. But then we got in touch with her and get to know her really good. She lived nearby, so we went there a lot and also met her children. And then we decided, let's go to a counselor and go to a lawyer to ask, hey, what do we need to do? Then we started with self-insemination after a long time.
Self-insemination.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So you have to, I'm not going to show it to you, but I'm going to explain this. Not live in the podcast, sorry.
Not that kind of podcast.
It is my weekend too. Leave me alone, please. No, what you do is generate sperm, put it in a cup, and then with a small syringe, you can suck it up a little. And when she ovulates, so she has to monitor her ovulations. When she has her ovulation, she, puts
So
syringe.
it's what we used to call the turkey baster method, which is basically like...
Exactly, the turkey based.
You have to go to her house, and then she would be there, and you would be like upstairs bashing one out, and then go, here you go.
Exactly.
And then she'd be like, thanks.
Yeah.
Isn't that awkward?
Totally awkward.
I'm like, here.
Yeah, it was the weirdest transaction ever. It wasn't a transaction, but it was kind of, I'm done. It went well or something, and hope it works. And it is, sometimes people say, oh, you can go, hey, you can do your thing, and but that's not the case. It's real, it isn't funny. First in a cup.
Okay.
And then in a syringe.
I'm about to say.
Yeah. Yeah. No, those skills, I have skills, but this is not my core quality.
So you basically, you come in a cup, and then you suck it into the syringe and she plunges it in.
Exactly.
There's a visual in my head.
Yeah, I will show you the pictures afterwards.
Yeah. I love you, but not that much.
And we did that for a half a year, so month after month, and then we'd hoped that it would take, but it didn't. And after a couple of months, she got a new relationship, and her partner didn't like the idea that much. So we went to counseling again, spoke things out, and it was really, a big tension also. And we decided, and we had a little bit doubts, or a little bit, the relationship changed.
And you could feel that. You were like, oh, doesn't feel so good.
Yeah. But it's really difficult if you're in such a dependent situation, such a dependent place, to comment someone about lifestyle.
Well, I guess, she's there offering your dream.
Exactly.
And then...
And it's disclosed.
And then her situation changes, and she's like, I don't know how to destroy their dream. I don't want to do this anymore because my boyfriend doesn't want to do it. Yeah. I maybe want to start a family with him.
Yes.
Like that conversation must have, for both of you, must have been...
Yeah, difficult. Because we kind of loved each other too. There was a good and deep connection. So eventually, after the seventh attempt, the morning after we did the turkey-based thing, she sent us a text. It was also before WhatsApp, so a long, long time ago. She texted us with the words, I cannot do this anymore.
Tough.
It was really tough. Heartbroken.
Yeah.
It really felt as if someone broke the relationship on a really different level. But we were really in shock, I think. It was a big loss. And it was also really weird because the night before we did the turkey-based thing, so there was a possibility that she could be pregnant. So we had to wait 2 weeks for her to, hopefully menstruate or hopefully not menstruate. Or it was kind of a weird thing.
Weird situation to be in. She didn't get pregnant?
No.
Okay, so, and what did you feel at that?
A rollercoaster of emotions. It was definitely over. And we were kind of relieved that it didn't go through.
Well, because can you imagine if you had been pregnant? That would have been really tough.
Yeah. Fortunately, we had great friends around us and family members who could support us with dealing with this loss. But also we've made friends going through the same situation or family building, also via Meer dan gewenst, more than wished for. We got to know people. And that speaks differently than people who are not in the situation. Because it's kind of learning a new language and people understand you.
Well, it's interesting because when people get pregnant the first time, it's a very different situation to those that have tried 7 times and still don't.
Exactly.
And you have a different perception and a different way of looking at it. It's almost, I see this all the time with the heterosexual couples who've been trying. Like they get to me broken because their dream isn't coming true.
Exactly.
And then it's really difficult to change that mindset of, it is going to work. I am going to get pregnant. I am going to have the family. So how did you make that jump?
We talked about it a lot with peers, but also with people who were dear to us. Cried, walked it off, but also working hard and laugh. And I think also we paused the adoption course. We started up afterwards. So we thought, okay, this path didn't work. Let's, start with the initial plan to start the adoption procedure again. In the meanwhile, we also have, via that forum, we met other people. And back then, one of the other people, Nadia, she carried at that time for another couple and she delivered at the same time. So that was not a wonderful process for her reasons. So she said, well, I'm so sorry to hear this, guys, that this situation is, stopped. But I thought about it. I have carried a child for other people, but I didn't have that great of an experience. And that's really what I would like to do. I'm not going...
She's like, I want to change from having a bad experience to carrying and having a good experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So she said, well, I'm never going to be a doctor or a professor or whatever, but this is something I like and I can and I love to do. So let's meet up. Yeah. So we went there and it was in Belgium, just over the border from the Netherlands where we're from. And we went there in the afternoon for a cup of coffee. And after dinner, her husband called and he said, are you kidnapped by those gays or not? And then he went over and we had a lovely conversation and it was great. And there was kind of a spark. Yeah. It's not falling in love, but at the same time it is kind of platonic love or something, but also loving the option of a future perspective, seeing kind of the way it can look like. And we started chatting, and it was fun. We met her family and it felt like coming home in a way.
Isn't it interesting how it's almost like there's that little spark in the distance where you're like, this could happen. Yeah. This could be the one.
And it is thin ice too. Yeah, you're really scared, yeah, to open up your heart again.
And hopeful.
Exactly.
Just like a first date.
Like a first date, yeah. But then there were more practical obstacles because she said, well, I would like to... eventually we were in her bubble bath at home, jacuzzi in her garden. It was very nice.
Sorry, you were...
In her jacuzzi.
Oh, okay, fine. Not in her bubble bath. Bubble bath is a bedroom.
Really? It's English.
You were in her jacuzzi, okay, in the garden.
Jacuzzi in the garden. No. And then she said, we were with the three of us and her husband was sitting in the house. And she said, well, guys, I really like you and maybe I'm starting to love you. I really would like to carry your child. Is that okay for you? Yeah. So we cried and hugged and it was kind of romantic.
Not that kind of podcast, Julie. They didn't have sex. No, they didn't have a cup of coffee turn into a cup of cum. They were having a jacuzzi moment for lunch.
No showers, no golden... No. Leave me alone.
So she's like, I want to do this for you.
Yes. And it was, heartwarming. And, that was really a great evening, which I cannot forget. But then there were more practical obstacles because she would like to carry for us, but not with her own egg cells. She said, her husband and she were a little bit afraid of getting a bigger bond or attachment and find it difficult to...
what's her egg?
To give her baby to us or to hand it over to us because we didn't have an egg donor. So we talked about friends and family about this topic and we also started a blog back then for our intimate people that they were up to date and we didn't have to share it over and over and over again. Then via we met someone who said, well, carrying, I would not do this ever, never, but I could give you egg cells. So then we had a surrogate mother and also egg cells, but no hospital.
Oh my God.
In the Netherlands, the people didn't help us back then in the days, but they did in one clinic in Brussels. So the circle's around because we're in Brussels right now, recording this podcast. And they said, well, let's do this. So we had an egg retrieval and also went to lawyers and counseling, etc. We had an egg retrieval. We had a lot of embryos, eventually 8 attempts with IVF. And then with the embryo transfer, the first time didn't work, the second time didn't work, the third time we were expecting.
All of a sudden you're pregnant?
All of a sudden we were expecting, yeah.
And how does that feel? Because you've done 7 turkey basters.
Yes.
You've done 3 rounds of IVF.
Yes.
It's almost like at that point you're like,
yes.
What happened?
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, what?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, your frame of reference or our frame of reference was really about disappointment, and we got to get used to this. And then, well, we know biology, so we know if you put something in, something can come out. Feeling this and experiencing this is next level. Seeing a heartbeat, and we didn't see a heartbeat back then. No. Then we had an ultrasound, and there was no heartbeat. So we were all over the moon. Also had gestational surrogate, but also the egg donor, and we and all our family members, but there was no heartbeat.
Oh my gosh. So all that just comes crashing down.
Yes, and our surrogate really felt sorry for us and also felt a little bit guilty or something, and it was mix of, well, loads and loads of emotions. So it took some time, also because you have to take time, things have to happen, but also to really process this together.
So at what stage did you find no heartbeat?
A couple of weeks after the positive test.
So you literally have a few weeks of thinking everything is amazing.
Yes.
And then?
So then we talked about this. Can we do this? Are we resilient enough to go on with this process? Also with her husband, also with her family, and we too. And we said, well, our dream is so big, and also her dream to complete her family, to do something was so large that we said, okay, let's go on. But we started evaluating after each attempt. So then another attempt and another attempt, but then one time she didn't feel anything, and she said, well, I'm sure this is not going to work because I didn't feel anything. And her previous pregnancies, she was really pregnant. So we called the doctor about her HCG levels, and the doctor said, well, congratulations.
You're like, wait, what?
What? So kind of...
She's not feeling anything, and then, wait, what?
Exactly. So that was kind of a positive shock again, but also we were kind of hesitating about letting it really in because of all the disappointments. And then we saw the HCG levels, and it rose really hard, and there were a double embryo transfer, also because of her age, and also about...
She put in 2 embryos.
Exactly. We were a weekend away in France, and we had contacts, and all of a sudden the tone of voice changed over WhatsApp. She said, when are you home? Because I really have to call you.
And you're like...
Yeah. So we boarded in the plane, flew back, and with pain in our stomach, we really raced to her home and then started FaceTiming. And she was really crying really hard because she just lost the pregnancy again. That was rough.
Oh my God, at what stage did she lose it?
Also a couple of weeks. Not that far.
But again, the moment of hope, the moment of amazing, this is da-da-da, and then
boom.
How do you deal with that? How do you cope?
Yeah. I think the same. Crying, going to each other, hug each other a lot, talk about it, and also do fun things or something. Yeah, it's dealing with a feeling of mourning too. It's
massive
a big loss.
grief.
So eventually we evaluated over and over and over, and we decided let's keep on going until there's a pregnancy or until the embryos are
run out.
So we did, and the embryos ran out. That was another big moment.
I'm like, the resilience of her.
Yes.
And I'm like, I didn't know this. This is like, you're like the fun one. I'm like, oh my God. Wow, okay.
Yeah. So that was also, again, a shock. But then again, in all this hope and connection and love and loss, we really got to know each other, and we became family in a way. So after a couple of attempts, she and her husband started thinking about, why is it that we are so scared of loving the child, and why are we so scared of feeling a connection or a bond with this child, also a genetic bond? They started actually the conversation about, hey, how do you look into traditional surrogacy, also with the syringe?
Back to the turkey basting.
Exactly. And we had to think about this, of course, and they too. So we had a lot of conversations about this. And then we said, okay, but I think it's good to create an endpoint or to make agreements about how long can we keep up this, because her age didn't work with us. And then we decided, let's do this. Let's do this too with her egg cells, so with traditional surrogacy too. And then we discussed it to do this 6 times, and after 6 times, it was
6 times. So
6
you've
months.
already done
Yes.
7 turkey basters, multiple IVFs,
Yes.
2 miscarriages, and 6 times more.
So We went for it. We got to know her bathroom in a different way. And, well, it didn't work. Yeah, so after 6 times, we had to stop there.
But it's almost like you had set the framework.
Yes.
And you knew, did that give you clarity to be able to say, we love you, we're good, we need to move?
Yes, yeah. And she had a dream too. So she said to us, if you will find someone else, or you would go proceed with another person or situation, well, that's okay, because I really want you to be happy. And we said the same thing to her, because her dream was to carry a child and have a positive outcome, of course. So, and that happened because we, the egg donor from the IVF processes, we also bonded with her, and eventually she heard from our stories and she said, oh guys, I'm so sorry for you. Why aren't we going to talk about that I'm going to carry your child? And at the same time, so Nadia, Surrogate, she got in touch with another couple too. And she also said, well, I'm really feeling a connection with those people. So after 6 times, we really had a ceremony. So we printed a book with while we drove to Belgium, we always made a selfie and sent it to her. So we made a book with all those selfies. It was a lot of selfies.
I'm like, there's a big book.
Yeah, a big book, but also with texts and also, yeah. So it was really heartwarming and it felt round. Exactly, closure. And we still have a good connection with each other. We don't speak that often, but sometimes we meet up, and it also feels like family. Mm-hmm. So when we see each other, it's okay. So there was a decision that we went on with the egg donor that she became a surrogate. She went on with the other intended parents. She did the process, and the first attempt, she was pregnant.
You're kidding me. How did you...
Really happy for her.
Yeah.
Really happy for her.
I'm really sad for you.
And really sad for us.
Wow.
Yeah. But at the same time, we were busy with
the other ones. You could keep your mind busy.
Exactly. But that didn't go well.
Yeah, I can imagine you're really happy for her. And this is something that I see a lot. All of my friends are getting pregnant, and I'm not. How can I be happy for them when it's not happening for me? How do I have to pretend? I have to be like, oh, I'm so thrilled for you. Yes, I'll come to your baby shower. Yes, when inside you're broken and just like, this is not where I want to be.
Yes.
I should be with there.
Exactly.
Not here.
Yeah. Yes, really. Because I really know what you're talking about. I see and speak to a lot of people going through this process too as a professional, but I'm really lucky that we didn't have those feelings of jealousy. It was more like we want you to be happy and we want us to be happy too.
Don't cry. I have Kleenex if you're going to cry, because if you cry, I'm going to cry.
And it helped. Mm-hmm. And we were also, because she wished us the best and we wished her the best, that also helped. And we were also supporting each other in this situation. So yes, it was difficult, but I don't think we ever envied her or were jealous on her. It's more, I think, about the situation where we all felt, really happy and really sad. And sometimes angry about. But that didn't go well, and Nadia, or Surrogate, who was busy getting pregnant for the other couple, she really lobbied for us. So she went, she subscribed, and then we had Facebook, to a Facebook group for lesbian women, and said, friends of mine are really wanting to have a child, so if you have a uterus free, get in touch with them. So that also really helps, because it went on. It didn't stop there. We kept on wishing each other the best. So I think that really helped into not getting bitter or envious.
Because it's very easy to go down that bitter path.
Yes.
And resentful.
Yes, but we didn't. To stop is not an option. We are going to move forward. So I already told you about the blog. So we expanded that. We put it open online, and we got a lot of reactions of people who could identify with our story. Just as what we've learned from other people's, they really identify with this. And in no time, also the media contacted us with requests of, joining television, but also newspapers. We went viral, in the Netherlands, and we got a lot of reactions, and some weird reactions for some people who said, what's the amount of money that I get? Or I'm 18, I've never been pregnant, I would like to practice this. or I love baby, so the first year the baby is going to be with me, and then afterwards I'm done.
The press got in touch. I mean, that's first of all huge, and you've gone viral. Explain more.
Well, in the Netherlands, there is no law regarding surrogacy. So there are three things good to know. One of those are that advertisements are not legal. So I cannot say that I'm looking for a surrogate, and a surrogate mother cannot say I want to carry a child. The second thing is matching. So matching is also prohibited. Children's trafficking is prohibited too.
Children trafficking.
Yes.
Why is that surrogacy? Why are those two things linked?
Yeah, a lot of people think that commercial surrogacy is prohibited, but it's actually about child trafficking. It's difficult to distinguish when is it child trafficking. Also because there's no law regarding surrogacy and also no framework about what amount of money compensation is allowed or not. So what is actually happening is that it is really common that we work with altruistic surrogacy. So no compensation on top of reimbursement.
So expenses if she's going to food,
Yes,
stuff like that.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So a couple of years there was a state committee to do research about the situation in the Netherlands and also give advice to our parliament about legislation to protect the intended parents, the surrogate mothers, the egg donors, but most of all the children. I think that's the moment that a program wanted to share these stories, different family forms, and then they got in touch with our blog and with us. And then we got a message from Lianne. Hey guys, I read your blog. I'm really touched. Let's drink some coffee. So the next evening we were there and she said, well, my husband, and it was in the evening, her husband, we wouldn't going to meet him because he had a night shift. And then all of a sudden, a couple of minutes for our feeling later, the door closes and he walks in. So we were chatting for hours and hours.
Oh my God.
We laughed and we really connected and it was coming home.
So again, that little spark in the distance, you're like, maybe this is going to happen.
Yeah, and then we decided, well, what keeps us from starting? What are the things that we have to do before start? And we couldn't come up with things because we spoke a lot about this topic. And then we started. So the first attempt, well, didn't work because, well, that was our frame of reference. It didn't work for a couple of things.
And you're turkey basting again?
Turkey-based, so with her egg cells indeed, traditional. Then the second attempt, we were sick, really sick. So the eggs were boiled and the sperm was cooked. So from all the attempts we had, this was the worst attempt. And we went on, 2 weeks later, to celebrate Christmas together. So Christmas Eve, we were there, have dinner together. And then she said, yeah, we have to test because formality. So I'm going to the toilet, pee on a stick, and wait for 3 minutes. And in the meanwhile, while we wait, I have a present for you. And she hands over a small package, and we open it up. We thought a watch or jewelry or whatever. We opened it up and it was a plus.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
We cried.
And so that was your Christmas present?
What? Yes.
Wow, okay. I got to cry so easily. Bloody hell. Coolio's going to be like, stop crying.
And it was so weird because this was, I think, the time where we didn't expect this.
Because your sperm and your eggs were cooked. You were all sick. You were just like...
Monster flu.
Formality.
Yeah, man flu XXL, so it was really bad.
So you had a coffin.
Yeah, and then there was a pregnancy, and if I still remember the first ultrasound, we were really tense. We were really, really, well, anxiety attacks. And all of us were there, so also her husband, so we got extra chairs. And we squeezed each other's hands, and then the Doppler thing went on our belly, and we heard a heartbeat.
How did you feel?
Yeah, it's undescribable.
Unbelievable. Like, this isn't happening.
Disney.
And it's so fast. It's like...
Exactly.
It's not like it's like... Yeah.
It's really thrilling. And we were there a lot. So when the pregnancy evolved and she got bigger, we went on with playing with her children while cooking, or my parents-in-law went there to play with the children or to get them out of school. Or
So you really became a part of her life.
Family, yes.
Because this is one of the things that when you're looking at commercial surrogacy or in different countries, you're very far.
Exactly.
It's a Skype. Well, mine was done by Skype. Right now it's Zoom or FaceTime. But you're not part of their lives, not every day. And then obviously you are towards the end of because you're there. But so that bond is huge.
Yes.
Wow.
And we felt what I explained, what we think is important in our situation for the best interest of the child, to be able to connect, to be able to create a bond, speak the same language, don't have an ocean between it, but also a genetical, easy family tree, for example. And on top of that, we also were surprised with love.
Well, I mean, like, it's almost, it's that moment of, this isn't really happening, but it is happening. You have to compartmentalize and put aside the 74 turkey basting attempts and you're like, but it only takes one. And that resilience and that keeping on going with the hope and the belief that it's going to happen.
Exactly.
And it was Christmas.
It was
amazing.
Christmas Eve. Yeah. So in the delivery, we were there, and it was also magical. We were there. Her husband said, "Well, I wish you guys all the best. I've done this twice. This
I'm
does not
tapping out.
exactly.
I'm not.
It's a really special child, but it's not the child that is going to live in my house." And he also said, "Well, I'm wishing you, his wife, all the best. I want to look into what she needs." And she said, "Well, they are going to be fathers. I would love to see the happiness and live the happiness. So go."
Go.
And make them happy and make yourself
But that
fulfill your
boundary
dream.
is really good for her to be able, and for them to be able to say.
Yes. So we were there, and it was a planned delivery. So we were there all weekend, and we took care of the house, cleaned it up, and then went to the hospital. We were there, and we helped with everything. I went into the shower with her with my swimming trousers on.
I mean,
flamingo. Really great. And I rubbed her back, and I helped her. And my boyfriend, he talked to her and, soothed her to be okay, to feel okay. And then, our son was born instantly, and time stopped. Spotlight. It was, harps. It was, he was there, and he was born, and, he came onto the chest of his mother. We call her his mother because, in our perspective, she is. And for a couple of minutes or quarters or hours, I don't know the amount of time, because the time is going to be different in that moment. And after a while she said, welcome, dear Tom. I'm really happy that you're here on this world. I'm really happy that I carried you. You're welcome, and I love you. But now it's time to go to your fathers, and I'm there for you.
Am I crying? Why are you crying? So this is where these come out. These are amazing Kleenex. I'm like, oh my god. That is amazing. Oh my god.
So after he was born, we could stay in the hospital, and the people who were important for us came to the hospital too, to meet us, and also her daughters and her husband went to see us, and my mother and my aunt and my parents-in-law, they came to the hospital. And then we went to her house and stayed there for all week. Yes, her oldest daughter, she said, well, you can have my room, but I want to sleep in a tent in my parents' room. So we went for a week there in their houses, and we did everything together, and she was laughing about the clumsiness we had.
She's like, you guys are screwed.
Yes, exactly. And really proud. But there were also tears and laughter, and it was amazing. But after a couple of days, we felt okay. Yeah. So she pumped milk, and that helped us also to keep being connected, and we drove off and on to get the milk and chat with each other and keep in touch, and also really invested into maintaining the bond with her children. What, for example, surrogate mother really wanted, Liana really wanted, was to go to school of her oldest daughter with a stroller with Tom to show everyone her little brother. So we did this with all of us, and it was, amazing.
Well, I think understanding, again, showing children, they will have seen this woman being pregnant, and then there's no baby. And they can, at least, you're showing, you're educating that this baby has gone to another family who's going to love it. And that's fantastic. Yes.
That's exactly the reason why we decided to make our own children's book, to explain in images what the situation is. So the book is called IVF Daddies, with pictures and words how our son came to world. Not only for him, but also for his big sisters that live with the surrogate mother, for example, but also for the children in the classes of of them to be educated about, hey, your mother had a big belly a couple of weeks ago. She has a flat belly right now, but no stroller. What's the deal?
Yeah.
And our son is 7 right now, and he had a book presentation and explained this to his class. So it is amazing. Yes.
But what a story of ups and downs and resilience and just the power that the two of you have to just keep on going.
Yes.
Because so many people do think they can't.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you are proof that they can. You're the best, and thank you for making me laugh. Thank you not so much for making me cry. I love you so much. You are fantastic.
I love you too.
Thank you for being on our podcast.
Thank you. All the best.